Alright, hello everyone. My name is Or. Today we will go through the VMS module of our software. We have another module, another webinar of the PSIM, of the more advanced, more advanced settings that can be applied in our system. Today it will be very basic. We have 1 hour. If you have any questions, please feel free to stop me and just write them up on the chat. And at the end of each session, I will note the questions and answer. Alright. First of all, I'd like to show you the capabilities of our system, and then we'll go through the settings itself, how to calibrate, how to install, and so on. The first thing that you will see when you open our software is at the top left window. You have the date and the time. You have the overall FPS that we are using, as well as the kilobytes. Here we can see the camera tree. Basically, this is where we can choose our cameras, our views, our IOs. If we have a map, we can also use it from here. Basically, all the features are shown over here. This little window just downstairs is the active alerts. In here, we will see all the active alerts that we have. So if we have a fire in a certain building, in a certain floor, we will receive this alarm over here. And this is the recent alerts. This is all the alerts that you get. Just so you understand, some alerts you need to accept and actually go through a few stages before you can reset it. So these alerts will show up here, and the alerts that shouldn't be that the operator shouldn't touch will go right in here. This is the main video, video screen. Right here we can see just a picture of a fixed camera. On the bottom line over here, you can see the line of the recordings. You can go to stop, and then you will go into archive mode. This way, just a second, please. All right. In this way, you can actually go through the archive and look through a specific event. If you have a commotion or any kind of thing that you want to investigate, you can do it from this bar. Can you hear me right though? As long as the sound is okay, I think we can manage. Yeah, okay. I'll just go a bit slower so you can see the screen as well. Alright, so basically what we can see here is the orange borders. This means that we are in archive mode. It means that we are in the history. Like I said, you can look at the timeline over here. You can use your mouse to go in or out. If you scroll down, then you go out, and you can see the dates, all the dates that you have recordings. If you go and scroll up, you can go inside and see everything by minutes. If you need some more investigation tools, you can use either one of these. Basically, you can see a mirror buttons over here and over here. These are for the back. So this one is one single frame back. Each time I press this, the picture will show one frame back. This is 10 seconds backwards. And this button right over here is when you have alarms. In a big system, you will have a lot of lines within the time bar. I'll show you an example. We call it bookmark. Pretty common. So once we add the bookmark, okay. Once we add the bookmark, we can just jump to previous alert, and then we'll go to the same place where the bookmark is. The bookmarks can be automatically generated using any kind of alarm that you will use in the system, or you can do it manually through here. This also applies to cameras with the motion detection feature. Basically, each time the camera will detect motion, you will receive an alert in this timeline. This way you can investigate and go back and forth to your event. So basically, these are the three buttons that we have over here. Same buttons are also applied over here. This is just forward, and this is backwards. Over here we have the date pane. Once you click it, you can choose from the recordings that you have. You can see in the orange color the dates where you have recordings. You can just go back by clicking. Very user-friendly. Same goes for the time pane. If we change it manually to let's say 11 o'clock, we will automatically be jumped to 11 o'clock. These are just play backwards, play forward. This is for the pause. If you want to go back to live, pretty understandable. Notice that when you're in live mode, you don't have the buttons that you have in archive mode. This is to prevent any irregularities, or if you have a stupid operator, for example, you want to limit his ability as much as you can. Alright, so going back to the archive mode, we'll go to this time. Let's say we want to play forward. We can play with the with the speed pane. As you can see, we go forward. We can go up to 32. Same goes backwards. Alright, another important thing. This is our export button. Let's say you have a small event over here and you want to export this specific video. What you want to do is to press the export button. Then you will receive two windows. The one over here, this is where you choose what time, until what time you want to save. Same goes for the date, of course. Once you click, let's make an example. Let's say 10:20 to 10:21. Once we click on Add to Export List, this will automatically be transferred to this pane, this window, under Context. Here you can see how much time we got exported. It's 1 minute, how much megabytes it's going to take us. And we have the type, sorry about that. Just a second. Alright. So like I said, this is the contact. When you add to export list, this is the list that you get. If we want another, let's say 22. Sorry. 22 to 22 and a half. 23. We have to export list as you can see over here. We got the two exports on this list. We can also add different cameras and different views. This is just for example. I added the same camera twice, different times. Alright, going back to type. Basically here we have two options. The first option is to export a player, which basically will export a folder with our program. It's a light version of our program. Basically, once you click on it, I'll show it to you later. It will open just like this program, and you will have this pane down below. Basically, this means that you can investigate using our pane even after you export the files. You can also do that just by copying the files that you export to a CD key or a USB file. USB key, and then just pass it on from computer to another computer. You don't have to install anything. You just open the file, and there you go. I'll show it to you later. And the other option is use the clip export. This will export AVI file. You can use a transcode if you need it, and then you can change the resolution and the frame rate. For this example, I'll export a player because the file is pretty obvious. Target. Here you can choose where you want to save the file. In my case, it will be the desktop. The name, obviously. If you want to burn the file straight to the CD key, to the CD drive, you can do it from here. If you want to encrypt it with a password, you can also use it from here. Alright, the content is explained, and now we have the export. Alright, this is the overall of what we are going to do. We're going to export to C under this folder. We have two segments because we used the same camera twice, different timing. This is the total video length. and the total export size. Alright, for this example I will remove one of these, just so it will be easier for us to, faster for us to export. And we can start the export. These are all the files that we are exporting right now. Basically, it's semi-software. It's like a light version of our software. And I'll show it to you. There we go. Alright, so this is my desktop. This is the file that we just exported. As you can see, these are all the files that we exported. This is what we want to open. Start viewer. And as you can see, the program opens. On the left pane you can see the camera. Double clicking it will show you, like I said, the pane down below. Here in the timeline, obviously you will see only the length that you exported. You can play with it, and the same buttons that you had in the software are also located here. Now this is good if we have, for example, a split view of a few cameras. See if I have it. No, I don't. Alright. Let's say we have another cameras over here in the blank spaces. The cool thing about this feature is that basically when you stop and move to a certain time point, all the views that you have open in the screen will synchronize to this exact time. So if you have a few cameras looking at the same area, the same location, you can use this feature to follow a target or watch an event. This is very highly demanded. Another good thing that you can do is from this window you can also export again, this time the clip. So you can always go back and export the AVI file. You don't have to worry about that, which is very good. Alright, let's go back. Alright, so that was a static camera, a fixed camera. I'd like to show you a PTZ camera as well. Right, this is how it looks like. Basically, we have a few integrations with a few makers for advanced PTZ calibration. I'm referring to these angles that you see up here. Basically, we can calibrate the camera and later on use it for auto tracking. Sorry about that. As you can see, you can move the camera from our software. You can change over here. You have the PTZ pane. You can change your presets. Right? You can also define a new preset from the software. You can click here. I'll show you again, PTZ. And then you have save PTZ preset. So let's say you want to save this one. Oh, I need to clean that camera. Alright. Let's say you want to save this as a preset. So we go back to the PTZ pane, save PTZ preset, and then set. Yes. And we give it a name. And that's it. Now once we press save, basically a few things will happen. The preset will be saved in our XML files in our database, and we will send it to the camera. So this PTZ, this new preset will be sent to the camera itself, so we can use the web to go to this preset. and you can also use it from here. As you can see here, we have the new preset. Let's try to move the camera. Once we double click the new preset, as you can see, we got the zoom in, and we can see the balls, the new preset. I think I just broke my camera, but it should work. Yep. All right. Sorry about that. We have a lot of disconnections over here. As you can see here on the left pane, all the cameras that are colored in red, that means that they are disconnected. For us, we have a construction here in the office, so from time to time we get these things. All right, let's use this one for example. Yeah, let's try again. Yep, something will work with this camera. Yep, something is wrong with this camera. All right, sorry about that. Moving on. All right, so that was the cameras. I'd like to show you a few views, and then we'll go on how to create them, as well as how to add cameras. All right, let's use this for example. All right, so this is a split screen view. Basically, what you can see here is a few pictures that we have, a few site plans. This camera right here that got disconnected, it's the camera that we just played with. As you can see here, this is the picture of the floor. Here we can see the camera, we can see it's disconnected. This is a picture of the building with the floor highlighted. We have a few cameras, and as you can see here on the bottom right corner, we have this button, this view that says 2. Basically, this means that we are working with the second stream of this camera. This is very good for us if we have a lot of cameras and limited bandwidth. This is very good for our bandwidth. Once we stop this, once we stop the screen, we'll go into the archive mode, and basically I'll show you what I was referring to last time. When you go back to a certain point of time, as you can see, the entire cameras that's shown on the screen will be synchronized at the same time. So if you go to 10.5, once we click on it, all the cameras, as you can see on the timestamp on top of the camera, will be synchronized at the same time. We also got no live button, and we can see that the orange frame is here. That means that we are in the recording mode or archive mode. Alright, this is a tour, for example. A tour is basically if we have limited, let's say we have limited screens, so we have one screen. We want the cameras to go on one by one. As you can see, a lot of my cameras are disconnected due to the constructions. So as you can see, we have the timer on top, on the right here, down here in the right pane. So now it's set to every 5 minutes, every 5 seconds, the camera will change. Nothing more to explain here. We can stop it, we can continue, and so on. Right. Now we'll go to the fun stuff. Alright, this is the camera list. We have the menu pane over here, administration, and cameras. Alright, we have a few options here. If you look down here, you have discovery. Basically, this will look for any cameras in your subnet, and will try to add them to the software automatically. The only way that this feature will succeed is that the cameras are set to use UPnP, and if their user and password are set to default. So basically what happens is that CRISP has a list of default users and passwords, and once you try to discover cameras, the system will automatically transfer the data from the camera to the software itself, and then you will just see it here on the camera tree. This is very good when you have a new installation and you haven't set anything with the cameras and you want to add every camera to this software. You can quite easily do that, and then edit the cameras from here. Alright, let's say you have the IP address, or you want to add a manual device, manual camera. You have the new pane right here, new button, sorry. Alright, now here you can see the type. Basically these are all the models, the makes that we have integration with. These are all the main ones. If it's Axis, Balter, which is a German company, Bosch, Canon, Dahua, Gans, Grundig, Hikvision. If your camera is not in this list and it's working on OnVIF, you can use this. So basically, if you're working with OnVIF protocol, you can use this driver. In worst case scenario, if you want to use RTSP string instead of adding the camera from one of those drives, you can press none and just put the string over here, and then you will save the picture. Of course, once you use RTSP, you can't control anything. So if it's a PTZ camera, you can't control the movements. If it's a normal camera, then you have no access to those panes, which we will go through in a minute. Let's take a camera that's already connected. Let's take this one. Alright, so double click will basically open up this view. This camera is set to OnVIF. This is the IP, user, and password. You have to press validate. This is for us to try to connect to the camera. As you can see here, once we connect to the camera, we can extract the model and the firmware version of the camera. Once we do that, we can go on to general. This is the name of the camera. This is the group. The group is basically what you can see over here. Let me show you. So cameras is a group. This one is a group. Quite simple. Each one of these is a group. Alright, so we'll use cameras. Basically, if you put, let's say, cameras over here, then this camera will be added to this pane. You can use this as a general group, meaning that you can use this group to show cameras, views, maps, virtual IOs, and anything else that the system can support. You can put it in the same tree. And this is good if you have a few locations, or if you have floors, for example, in a building. Then you create a group for this specific floor or this specific location. Alright, moving on. We have the enable button over here. Basically, it means that whether you enable the camera or not. If you have audio and you want to use it, then you can use this checkbox. Sorry. If you use a different storage, or if you have a few, then you can use which storage will be used to store the videos from this camera. Privacy zones, pretty much self-explanatory. You can just cover up a certain area. This is for mainly for cameras that don't have this option from the camera itself, from the maker itself. Same goes for overlay. Snapshot. Snapshot is the snapshot that we take from the camera once we press validate. Most of the time, you will see here a picture of the face of the technician. Once you install it, then we will take a picture, and we don't want that. So we go through here, reference snapshot, show, and then we can update the snapshot. We can either you do this manually from a file, or you can just update snapshot, and then it will take the live picture, as you can see here. Press OK, and that's it. Motion detection, that's whether the camera enables it, depends on the camera. On with profile, if you want to configure the profile from here, you can do it. These are the settings that you can change. These work with the most commonly used on-with cameras. Alright, this is the recording parameters. Basically, this is where you say, okay, I want to record 24/7, which we call permanent. We want this event triggered, so basically this camera will not record unless we get a certain event. No recording at all. Or if you want to use an I/O controlled, let's say we get a certain button on the map and we want to record once we click on it. This is how you choose it. Here, down here, you can see the default stream settings. From here, we can actually change the stream of the camera. I'll show you a different camera. This one should be good. Yep. All right. So from here, you can change the stream. The first and second one depends on what you opened in the camera, what the camera can support. For example, we want to change the first stream of this camera to different kind of FPS or a different resolution. Once we change it, we can write to camera, and then we will change the stream from the camera itself. In the advanced configuration pane right here, once you click on it, you have a few options. This is the small video stream, meaning once you have a split view, and let's say you have a small screen with 9 views. Alright, so you have 9 views on the screen, and it's very, very small, so you don't have to use this resolution, because this will exhaust your system and your network. What you'll want to do is to use the second stream, and this way, once the system will note that the picture itself is too small, it will automatically use the second stream, as you saw before, the little button that says 2. Show you again. Right here down below, you can see the 2. That means that we are using the second stream. Right, from here you can also check which stream is used as the first stream and as the second one. Right, moving on, we have advanced configuration. From here you can choose, if you have an audio on your camera, you can choose whether to enable it or not. And you have a few other features that I don't need to go on through, pretty much explaining themselves. Right, we'll go back to this. If you have an external PTZ device, you can use it from here. So let's say you have a physical external device and you want to use this device on this PTZ camera. What you want to do is enable this, and then here you can put the IP address and the device address. That's pretty much it. If you want to use this camera only by audio, so you don't want to receive the video from the camera, you can do it from here. Alright, and this one is the last important thing in this window. Basically, we can ask the system to use TCP instead of RDP. We use this feature when we have a low connection or a very bad connection, very bad LAN connection, and we get these merges on the screen, these gray areas, these gray windows, then the client sees that and probably says that the camera is not good. What we can do is use TCP. This way we don't lose any packets. We just get the packets on delay, meaning that he will not see any gray screens or any smudges, but he will have a slight delay instead of that. Most clients do not see that, so it's like a path to work around it. But this is a very good feature for us, even for troubleshooting. Alright, that's all I can show you here. Let's say you have a big installation with a lot of cameras. This is a very small one. We can use camera maintenance. The button right down below over here. This way we get the list of all the cameras. We can change the name of the camera. We can change the group. This is very easy because you don't have to log into each camera individually. You can see the list, the entire list over here. If you need to change the IP address, you can do it. If you have PTZ, you can enable or disable it from here. Same goes for motion detection. If you want to use TCP, you can do it from here. This is where we record this camera. So let's say we plug in a new recorder, a new server, and want to record half the cameras over there. This is where we this is where we change it. This is the recording profile. If it's 24/7, if it's by trigger, by event, and so on. And this is quite I'll show you with this one. This is a very good feature if you have VLC installed in your system, and let's say you get a certain error in one of your cameras, then you can use the VLC button. Basically, the software has a list of the default screens. You can't see that, just one second. There we go. So basically, once we click on the VLC, the program will open with a. I was about to say that CRISP has a list of all the RTSP strings that support by the cameras that we have integration with. So the string will be automatically implemented and opened in VLC. We can use this to look for any irregularities. If we have a bad connection, we can see that if it's a problem with CRISP or with the camera itself or with the LAN. So if we have, for example, gray windows over here, we can note that the problem is probably something to do with the LAN or the stream itself from the camera, and not something to do with the CRISP or anything else. Another good feature is if you want to receive the RTSP string, this is a very good way to do it. What we will do is go right click. We have the playlist. We have the playlist right here. You can use Control L to access it. Once you do that, you can see the playlist. Right click, information. Let's see if you can see it. Yep. Alright, and down below you can see the stream itself, including the user and password. So let's say you have another analytics software that works with RTSP strings. This is how you can extract the RTSP without looking for it in Google or Let's go back to CRISP. Alright, that was pretty much it for the cameras. Before we go to views, I'd like to go back and show you a little bit about the menu. So basically we have the system state, which basically shows all the devices are connected to the system. We can see a list of the cameras. We have 12 offline. If it's disabled, you'll see it here. Changing, meaning that if the camera changes the IP, or if the system indicates of duplicate IP, If you have an error in the camera, you will see it here. The clients. These are the observers that are open. Observer is how we call the GUI of the program. A client is a different computer, so we have the main server, and we have a few clients that are connected to the server. Let's say the server is in the server room, and we have a few clients in the offices. I'll explain about these maybe later. Recorder, how many recorders we have connected to the system. In this case, I have one. And storage sets. Storage sets basically mean the drives within the recorder. So right now I'm using one recorder with two drives. I have F and C, for example. Here you can see a list of all the cameras. This gives you a good indication if you want to look at the overall FPS, how many frames, how many kilobits, if the cameras are offline or online, and so on. Instances are the systems that are connected to this server. So as you can see, we have two clients, observers, one web access, meaning it can be our app, can be downloaded from the App Store. So if you are connected using the app, you will see a web access and the recorder. Web access is also connecting through the web. We have HTTP kind of protocol that you can look at the views, look at the cameras, see alerts, and so on. Perhaps I'll show it to you later. These are the storage sets that we have. So here we can see indication that they are full up to 90%. We're working with the FIFO, meaning that when we reach 90%, we'll start deleting files from the date that we have, first date that we have, sorry. This is the limit, how much time we have to record, total space, free space, and so on. And the path, of course. Alright, here we can see the system log. This is very good for troubleshooting. We use it manually, but you can use it as well once you get to know it. Over here, you can select the source. We have a few options. Live trace is whatever happens in live time. Range, we can choose from this list or use custom for custom search. Once we click update, we'll get everything that's happening live. So if you will open something, let's see, open a view, these are all the things that happen in the background. This is very good if you have bugs or errors, you can see it here. Alright, moving on. I'll skip the alerts because this one is more relevant to the pissing kind of webinar. About, this is important. Right, here you can see the version of the software that you have. You can see the serial number of your license, and this is the license stripped down, meaning you can see what you have licensed in the system. So for example, we have 100 cameras. We have the ability to add up to 5 external sources. We have 2 license plate recognition licenses. These are the I/O ports, for example. Privacy protection. If you want to use failover, we'll go over it maybe later. Video wall and so on. Down below, you can see the current user that you are using to enter the program. You can see the host. This is the IP of the server. If it was a local server, you will have localhost over here. And this is the version that is installed in the server. Now this, for example, is a bad thing because we always want all the systems to be speaking the same language, meaning we want the same build for all the systems, so all the clients, all the servers. Right now I can see that my server is using this build 35772 while I use 35176. This can cause a lot of issues, mainly when you have big systems, because each build will act differently. What else is here is the team viewer. You have quick support by clicking here. You have the maintenance, which basically gives you the ability to see the system information. You can configure the startup. Let's say you have you can see that, right? Right, for some reason I can't show you this window. Maybe I'll take a screenshot, just 1 second. Yep, here we go. Alright, here we can define the Windows login information. So let's say you have a client, you have an operator that you don't want him to log into Windows, you just want him to open the software and operate and do his job. You can put the credentials over here. This means that when you restart the computer, it will automatically log in and open up the program without showing any of the Windows abilities. You can click here, direct observer start. It explains itself here. And if you want to disable task manager, you can do it from here. It is very recommended, highly recommended, that you use another different user for that, and not the admin user. This is for troubleshooting, and if you have any kind of issues with this user, you can always go back to the administrator and clean everything up. Also a good feature, if you use this, if you disable task manager and directly open the observer, then the way to go back to the Windows will be through this window. You can see here Windows Explorer or Task Manager, these buttons right here. So if everything is locked, this is the way to go back to Windows and change things. That's pretty much about it. Alright, moving on. We can change the user from here. Basically, we can set up a bunch of user groups in the system. So if we have operators, then a group for the operators, and if we have administrators or let's say officers, then we can use a different group for that. Say the operators get access only to the live view, they cannot go to the archive. The officers can watch the archive, and the administrators can change all the configurations of the system. So back to administration. We went through cameras. Alright, let's move on to views. Alright, views is the list that you can see here. Basically, you have these templates. You can choose whichever one you like. You can customize these templates as well as creating a new one. This is the name, the group. Like I said before, if you change this name to the same name, the same group that you created for the cameras, it will be moved to the same group. So let's say we want to set up this new view. So we chose a template. Now we can click on the cameras and just drag and drop wherever we see fit. And so on and so on. We can also use pictures or maps. Let's put the map over here. There we go. And let's say the eye over here. Alright. Now, if you want to add another camera to this view, you don't have to change the template. You just go up, select your camera, you double click on it, and we have this pane added right here. Once it's added, you can drag it to wherever you'd like. and of course you can change anything. So let's say you want to do this bigger, smaller, and so on. Alright, we have alert panel. I won't touch that because that's more of a PC webinar. We can show only live or a live plus archive. Basically, live will show you only the live without the ability to go back to the archive. You'll have to manually enter the camera to see the archive. And that's it, pretty much. You can also save this template. So let's say you created a certain template. You can save it from here. Just put a name, and you can see it down here, just like that. That's pretty much it about the views. Nothing too big about it. All right, tours. Here we have the tour name, the group. Of course, I explained it like before. The duration. This is a generic configuration, meaning whatever you press here, let's say 5 seconds. That means that each 5 seconds the view will change. Here you have the camera tree. You can also use a view for this. Whatever you add to the right pane will be added to the tour. You can change the order of the views. That's pretty much it. Any questions so far? I don't want to advance to go on without making sure that everyone understand everything. Just give me any kind of feedback. Yeah, sorry, I just noticed all the chat. All right. Oh, all right. Yes, the views are shared across all users. You can also create a specific user or a user group, and you can prevent this user group from seeing this view. Any more questions? All right, moving on. Yeah, the users can be connected using Active Directory. I'll show you. We're just about to go through that. All right. So we have the users. This is the list of the users that we have in the system. Once we click on new, we can quite easily add a new user. Let's call him test. We can give him a password, and if you want, let's say if you want the officer to override this user, so this user will not be able to log in without the officer in charge, you can use the second password. This is the password you give the officer. So basically the user enters his password and then the officer enters the other one. You can also prevent the user from changing his password using this button. You can limit the time that you have for the password, meaning that in 7 days the user will have to change his password. And here you click on which privileges this user has. So we have the administrators, we have the operator, which shows only live, and we have live plus archive. You can also create new privileges. We'll just go to that. So now we have the new user. It is connected to the operator live group. And here on the privileges, we can create a new group. This is how it looks like. Here we can choose which users are connected to this group. If we use Active Directory, we can use domain users. Yep. We can also use domain groups. Here we have a list of all the cameras and all the operation that we can do in each camera. So let's say we want this group to have access to this camera only for the live view, and this camera for the live view, live audio, and archive, for example. We can also choose fastback. If we have restricted archives, we can click on this. The audio that's recorded. If you want the user to have PTZ control, if you want him to have control over the presets, if it's to create a new presets, and so on and so on. It's pretty much explained itself, everything here. If you want to use a specific time for the user, a specific time limitation for the user to access using the archive, we can do it from here. So let's say we want to give him access for 1 week of archive recordings, we can do it from here. It's by hours. The I/O ports, which ports you have access to. Basically, the I/O ports are the ports that you connect all the devices that you have. So if you have, let's say, electronic fence or fire alarm or access control or whatever system that you want to integrate to this to CRISP, you can see here that you can check whether the guy has, if he can even see it, or if he can switch the trigger on and off. The alerts, which alerts this group has access to, whether it's to confirm it, just to see it, or to receive it live. Views, same goes from here. This is for your question, Mario. From here you can select which view this user group has access to. If you have external sources, if you have, let's say, a remote system that you want to join together with this one, you can do it. You can do it basically, and then you will see here a list of all the external sources, and from here you can select which external source this group has access to. And permissions. You can just read and understand that, nothing to explain here. The logs, system state, and so on. Important thing is the observer login. If you don't click on this, then the user will not be able to log in. This is the group name. Right. So what we have here is a new group, a new privilege group. When we go to the user, we can see the new group over here and select it. Alright, I'll explain again. Basically, I go into that with the pre-sim webinar. This is more advanced because to completely understand the external sources, you have to understand a lot of other things and the way that the system operates. External sources, basically, let's say you have a system in Italy and a system in Switzerland, and you want to see both systems from, let's say, Germany. What you can do is basically join the systems together and control everything from one system. The external sources list will be shown in the beginning when you open the program, and on the left pane on the camera view you will see the different sites, the different location, different servers, and you can just go in, whether it's a live view or archive. Later on you can actually change the configuration of the remote server from the remote client. So we have the rules. I'll skip that. Maybe we'll touch it later if we have time. Site plan I'll show you real quick. Basically, the site plan is the way for you to add a site plan. So let's say you have a client that he has a 3D model or even a 2D picture of his floor structure. You can just click select background image. These are the image files that you can use as of now. So let's say we want this picture, right? And this is the background picture. So basically, we can just add, drag and drop each and every camera. We can use views, drop views over here. We can drop other site plans. We can, what else is interesting here? We have the fire alarm button. It's a virtual I/O. Alright, and once we do that, we click OK. I'll show how it's supposed to look like, because I don't have the pictures in this machine. We'll go to the first floor, for example. Alright, here we go. Alright, so this is a site plan of the building. We have each floor connected to the view that we created for that floor. So let's say we want to enter the fourth floor. Sorry, we double click on this, and then we can see all the cameras that are connected within this floor. We can see a sketch of the floor itself down here. Alright, this is for example. So we have the cameras over here. We have an alarm system over here. We can go look at all the cameras that are connected here using this. This is completely customizable. You can change anything you want. Well, most of the things that you want. Everything you need. That's more correct. And you have the map option. If you have a safe city project, for example, you can use this map. This is Google Map. You can see the coordinates down here. You can go to wherever you wish. Let's go to Sofia, for example. What the system will do is that it will pre-catch this area. Then you can set home using this button over here. This will set the home to this location, and basically it will pre-download the tiles, meaning that you can download this picture once and then disconnect the system from the internet, and the operator will still see this picture. We can create random locations. So let's say we have a building here that we want to call new building. We can change the icon view scale. We can choose different icons from this list. So let's say we have a building, we can choose a different one. And that's pretty much it. We have a lot more to talk about in this model, but we'll skip that for now. This is only the VMS, as I said. I don't want to put too much information on you guys. Alright, save log. This model is for saving a certain pace of your recording. If you have an event that's, let's say, a violent event or a commotion that you want to save for later, you want to make sure that the system will not automatically delete it once it's out of space. Then you can just put it on save lock. You add a new one, and here you can save from to, if you want to save from all cameras or from a selected camera, and when you want to delete it. So release when memory is low. This is basically doesn't make any sense because it does nothing. Never delete save lock. You understand what that means? Or until time. We'll go back to the models later. Alright, stored sets. Let's say you have more than one stored set. Let's say we have 5 recorders. right? When I say recorders, I mean different servers, 5 different servers that are in charge of recording the cameras. What we will do is we will install this program over there. We will connect it. Once we install this program on the recorder, we will be able to put the host name of the server and connect to this server. Once we do that, we click Add, and on the recorder host pane, we will have another options. In this case, we will have 5. We will choose which server we want to record, and here we will choose the drive. You can see the automatically calculation of how much free space you have out of how much. This is the path, the storage name, and this is the automatic calculation of the storage. So let's say you have 1 tera of hard drive. The system will automatically save 10% of this drive, and once it reaches 90%, it will start deleting files from the oldest file to the new one. Here you can see that we have 30 days of storage, and we can set this as a default. So if we want to use this one as default, default basically means that when you add a new camera, this will be the defaultive path for us to record in. Alright, settings. If you want to use NTP server, this is where you define it. Watermark, if you want to add a certain watermark to the pictures, you can do it from here. You can also change the transparency. This is the log duration, how much days you want to save. This is default, 14 days. Alright, this is the client pane. You have a few options here. The first one is what happens when you open the program. Start maximized, hide menu column. The menu column is the column over here with the views, active alerts, and recent alerts. So basically, once you check this box and you restart this program, you will only see the view that's supposed to open automatically when you open the program. The operator will not have access to either one of these. This can be easily override. This could be easily override by pressing F12. I'll show you how it looks like. Oh, please. Alright, so I'm pressing F12. As you can see, the menu column is hidden. The only way to bring it back up is by pressing F12 again. Right, these are a lot of other features, the navigation tree, active alerts, and recent alerts. Basically, you can choose which one of these to hide or to show. Optimize display performance. This is very important. Once you have external GPU, what I mean by external is that one that is not on board, you will want all the processing to go to the external GPU. This is where you do it. You have to click V here, check this box, and once you do that, all the encoding will be done by the GPU and not by the onboard GPU. So let's say you have a problem with your GPU, you can uncheck this box and all the transcoding and encoding will be done by the onboard GPU. This option is that if you want to open a few observers within the same client, the same machine, log out after inactivity, you can change it here. If you want to set hotkeys, you can do it from here. You can add, delete, or edit any one of these. If you have a joystick, you can calibrate it from here. Basically, we support all kind of joysticks as long as Windows knows how to support it. It works basically just like your keyboard. So if Windows can recognize it, that means that our software can recognize it as well. Export location. This is a list of the export locations that you can use. These are default locations. Of course, you can use whatever locations that you want once you export any file. Default screen for views. Right. This basically tells us what will happen when we open a certain view. in the view pane. So once we double click it on which screen we want it to open. In this case, I have two screens. I can choose either one of them. View for alerts. When you have an alert that is set to automatically pop up, you will need a certain screen dedicated for that view to open. So let's say we receive a fire alarm from some kind of device, and you set it to open a certain view. This is where the view will open. If you have a limited screen structure, you can use the no alert pop-up. That means that all the alerts that you have will not show, will not automatically. And down here we can see all the screens that are connected to our system. Right now we have two. We can rename them. We can choose. I'll show you two of these. We can use the camera or view, and then click here and select which camera or which view we want to use. Basically, this tells the program what to do when it opens. So if I click here, that means that this view will open once I open the software under this screen. Alright, you can also change the font size if you have a remote, physically remote screen. Let's say the operator is sitting in a far distance from the screen, or the screen is very small. You can change the font size. And we have another option for a fixed view. A fixed view is a view that you cannot change, meaning that when you open the program, this view will show under this screen and it will be fixed. You will not be able to replace it or change it or close it. This is good if you have, let's say, more than one screen, and you want to make sure that the operator always looks at one of the screens, the important one, let's say with the alert management. This is how you limit his movement. Alright, another option is we have the option to send alerts to the email. This is where you define the email from where you send it. So this is the SMTP port, the host, and so on. This is where you choose how to back up your files. If you have a specific demand from the client, let's say he wants you to back up the files using a USB dongle or anything else for that matter, if you want to encrypt the files. That's pretty much it. You have another video data encryption that you can use from here if you have an encryption key. Alright, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna take a few more minutes to explain about the models. External devices are the devices that we have connected to the system, that we have integration with. This is more for the PC, let's say for a safe city or a big project, but it's good to know that we have these options. Basically, these are the devices that we have integration with. So if it's Access IO model, CyberSeal, it's a secure switch. Basically, it's a switch that monitors your network flow. So if you have any irregularity, or if anyone tries to connect to this switch or to your network, this switch will send an alarm to CRISP, and CRISP will know how to show it, and so on. As far as an electric fence that we have, once you touch this fence on a certain spot, you will receive this alert from it. We can use any device that's using Modbus protocol and just connect it through here. We have a POS device. Risco is a fire alarm or access control. Same goes for CNL. And of course, we can integrate a specific specific device depending on the project and if it's worth it. Alright, the failover model. This is quite important when you have a few server in your system and you want some kind of redundancy. You want to make sure that when one system goes down, the other one can completely override it and take all the responsibilities, whether it's recording or receiving alerts. We can do it from this model. We have video analysis. For now, we are using Technoware. It's a third-party program. It's quite good, actually. Basically, whatever analytics that we use on this program, we can receive from CRISP, and we can act upon it. For example, if we have a fence that we want anyone that's come close to it to show us an indication, we can get the indication from the analytics program. And then in CRISP, we can forward another roles and other operations for this alert. So let's say we want to open a certain view. We want to have a few guides for the operator to operate. Then we can do it from here, from the CRISP program. External sources, I explained what it is. Basically, you add the IP of the host of the remote server, username and password, and if you want transcoding, this is for better connection. Alright, one last thing I want to talk about is the video wall. Basically, if you have a big system with a video wall and you want to have easy access to it, all the screens will be shown here. As you can see, these are the hosts, different computers, different screens. We can set a certain ID to these screens. Basically, what it does is the ability to drag the camera to a specific screen. So what I'm going to do is just click on the camera and not leave it. And then as you can see, I can see the local screens. I can just drop it in whatever screen I want. If I had other hosts connected to this system, I'll be able to open this view, for example, for the operator. Let's see what else I can show you. Yeah, that's pretty much the important stuff. Do you guys have any questions? All right, Marius. All right, great. If you will have any questions in the future, you can always send an email either to me or to Manuela. I'll be very happy to help. And that's it. Thank you guys for attending this webinar. If you have any questions, like I said, you can write an email. Have a nice day.